again, this is Joe from Joyful Noise Productions. Today I'm using my amp scenery to talk about an amp. Unfortunately, I don't have, or hopefully I can get, depends. Before we go any further, please do me a favor. Like this video, share it to all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. And also don't forget to hit the notifications bell so that way you can be able to know when the next video comes around. And also don't forget to leave a comment, especially in this conversation that's been roaring as of lately. So without any further ado, let's get into it. Now today, we're going to talk about an amp, which again, as I mentioned earlier, I don't have. And that amp is the Mesa Boogie Mark II C+. In the past few days, we all have heard the stories, we've all seen the videos. Gibson came under fire for its rollout. Since its introduction in 1984, the Mark II C+ has become the cornerstone in the rock world, especially among the rock and metal musicians. Known for its raw power and its signature tone, it has become a staple in the rigs of many legendary guitarists. When you think of the Mesa Boogie Mark II C+, nowadays it's hard to not associate it with the heavy riffs of Metallica. The amp is synonymous with its aggression and intensity, which is now why it's become the many go-to amps for many metal guitar players. However, to this argument, there is some bit of a misconception about how the Mark II Plus is specifically designed for Metallica fans. Let's go ahead and let's kind of get into those. Now here's where the problem where it all started. The way Gibson marketed the Mark II C+ seemed to have kind of pushed the marketing towards blues lawyers, players who preferred the classic metal and rock tones rather than the more aggressive and modern sound that Metallica is known for. Now, don't get me wrong on this. The Mark II C+ is an amazing amp, capable of producing incredible tones. I remember a long time ago when I first came across one of the offshoots of a Mark II C+, which was known as the 50 caliber. That's when Lab Sounds first existed in California. But the versatility goes far beyond that. And it's also capable of delivering the same level of high gain and aggression that Metallica fans who are musicians are craving for. Now, the question is, well, what would make the Mark II C+ such a versatile amp for all kinds of players? For one, its tone is largely shaped around its gain staging. Now, Mesa's founder, Randall Smith, had a unique obsession about making a classic Fender amp scream with distortion. And if anybody knows that story, you'll laugh and you'll see why. His experimentations led to the creation, which we now know as the Mark II C+. We think of players like Steve Lukather of Toto. We think of Carlos Santana, even Neil Schon at one time of Journey, and also Brad Gillis of Night Ranger, and obviously John Petrucci of Dream Theater have embraced the Mark II C+ for its distinctive sonic qualities. Here's where I feel everything kind of based on my argument how I feel the whole rollout went. When Gibson's marketing decided to kind of go this route, they decided to have their own in-house technician, Dinesh Lagraj, demo the amp. And he presented it in a way that aligns with the vision that Gibson wanted to portray for the amp. Now, in my own personal opinion, this approach really didn't fully showcase the amp's potential. What I felt they should have done is they should have went to people like Kyle Bull, Ola England, and Peter Thorne to demo this amp. And as many of us that saw their videos, you can hear that the amp roars. Now, for some crazy reason, it seems like Gibson has been focusing on the nostalgic blues lawyers and the old crooners to try to get to this amp. Now, I used to be a business owner, and one thing you have to do is you have to do things to remain relevant. Now, From this perspective, this is not a long-term strategy that Gibson is engaging in. What most companies are doing now these days to remain relevant, brands are innovating. They're doing things to guitars to stay within the current trends of the instrument, or even in guitar amps, what have you. I own Epiphones, which is a Gibson affordable brand. So you think of it, it's like I own a Chevy instead of a Cadillac. At least Epiphone is embracing modern specs, and they're keeping up with the current demands. So when you think of it, the Prophecy guitar. The same logic applies to amps as well. While the Mark IIc Plus, for a time, has become a collector's item, it still holds immense value with younger players who are eager to get their hands on one, with a desire to capture the Metallica tone or the Dream Theater tone. And this is very, very important too, especially if you want to keep your market alive. So why is Gibson seemingly neglecting this younger generation of players? Now here's my takeaway in this whole thing. The Mesa Boogie Mark IIc Plus remains an incredible amp, capable of delivering everything from Metallica's aggressive wide tones, and also the typical classic rock, also typical LA studio sound, all that. But yes, it still can deliver heavy tones, and heavy sounds if you're really seeking for it. Now, here's what would be my advice to Gibson. Instead of suing your competitors like Gibson and trying to focus on the wrong crowd engagement, it's time for you guys to think outside the box. Embracing innovation could help a brand out. Not only preserve its legacy, but also attract new and young players that are along the way. Because those are the people that are going to keep you alive. But that's just what I think. All of you guys, you can be able to tell me what you think in the comments. I even heard some comments, people say, well, why not play a Marshall if you want classic rock tones, or any other amp, just give us the high gain tones. Hey, like I said, I messed with that amp before. It's versatile, so I can't complain. But again, do me a favor, like this video, share it to all your friends, and don't forget to subscribe. Until next time, peace out.